Well, good morning, everybody. It is official. We are ready to start our Saturday live Zoom property tour. We have a great tour in store for you guys. Welcome, welcome. We appreciate everybody taking an hour out. My name is Scott Buckholtz. I'm your host today. We also have Yas Hakan, our co-host. And guys, we do these property tours as we're a national team of investors. We are a community of investors who learn together, we collaborate, we share, we do deals together. And we have people on from all over the country today, both guests and people that are already a part of our community. And again, we love doing these on Saturday. We love sharing our community members, their deals and what they're doing, their stories. And today we get the privilege and the honor of having Keith and Leafay back on, Keith and Leafay Jones back onto our property tour. Sometimes Keith is able to host and help us do these property tours, but we've also featured him and his wife on their deals before. So today we've got a great one. It's a fix and hold there in Virginia. Without further ado, I'd love to bring Keith and Leafay out. Can you guys jump on?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I can see you as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
It's
Good
so
morning.
good. Good morning. It's good to see your smiling faces. I'm so glad and just honored that you guys taking an hour of your day out to share what you're doing there at this recent deal, this fix and hold. You know, again, I said earlier, we love doing these property tours. We do them every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, and it's just so cool to share what our community members are doing across the country. Being a national community of investors, one week we're here in Virginia, the next week we're in Colorado. We get to jump all over the country because we're represented in all the states. And, Keith and Leafay, you guys have been so, just eloquent before to share your deals. And today, with you guys jumping on, we're going to have people on that have never met you guys before. They've never been on a property tour with you before. So kind of let's kick this thing off and let's let you guys share a little bit about your story. I always love, people coming on, our community members and talking about what they did before they found investing, real estate investing. What were they doing beforehand? And then kind of what was the trigger point that, kind of really enticed and kind of got your blood going and your passions going, saying, I want to be a real estate investor. And then what I feel is very crucial is why you decided to become part of this community, just like me and so many others across the country. So would you like to start, Leafay, and talk a little bit about your story and about how you decided to become an investor and those type of things?
Sure.
She poked me, so just let you know.
Well, I'm sorry I put you on the spot. That if we want to start with Keith, we can. But I always
we can start. We can start with Keith.
Okay. All right.
Well, first, Scott, thank you for allowing us to use this platform. If it wasn't for you, the community, Yas, the admin team who's helped putting this together, we wouldn't know that people are actually doing real estate investing. So we are both retirees, both retired from the military. We always wanted to learn about real estate investing. But honestly, I just kept saying I can get to it tomorrow. And what I kept doing was I kept pushing it off. And then I dabbled here and I dabbled there, feeling comfortable for a little bit, feel like I was actually doing something. And then we kind of woke up one day and realized 20 years went by and we really wasn't doing real estate investing stuff. Even though we was watching, HGTV, we was like feeling good for a couple of minutes, but we realized that we wasn't doing it. And then as I was about to retire, because I retired first and then she retired, not accomplishing that goal and looking at our boys, realizing I can't pass the military to them. I can introduce it to them, but I can't let them start where I ended. And so when we really started looking at real estate investing, our why was our boys. We really wanted them to have what people call a leg up and kind of start where we ended. But it started with us. We had to take action. So when we saw this community, it just made too much sense. And we saw how people were helping each other. We understood how the education worked and just a lifetime access and just how the process was that answered a lot of my questions that I was trying to figure out over 20 years ago. I found out really quickly. So then it was just nothing more than for us just to take action.
All right, and for me, I've always loved real estate. Even as a little girl, I used to buy these house books with the drawing plans and trying to figure out like how I wanted to build houses and things like that. If somebody would have led me in the right direction, I probably would have been an architect or something, because that's what I liked when I was growing up. But I didn't have anybody guiding me on that path. And so even when I joined the military, if somebody would have just told me about investing in real estate, Keith and I have stayed in like 5 or 6 different states, since joining the military. I could have been buying houses all these years in different states and have properties all over. But it's not until, we found this group that we really started to actually learn, get educated, and actually understand how to do the deals. Because at one time in my life, I even became a real estate agent, thinking that it was going to teach me how to actually do deals and flip houses and help people in foreclosure and things like that. But it didn't teach me that. It just taught me how to sell a house. So when we found this group, it just opened our eyes to so much more on how we can actually get things done. And so I retired May of 2022. So I haven't even been retired a year yet. But I have really been focused on real estate as my full-time, I don't want to say job, but my full-time, what is it?
Real estate investor.
As a real estate investor. So this is what I do day in and day out now, because it's my passion.
Well, that is so awesome. First of all, I want to get this in early, but I want to thank you both for your service to our country. Gosh darn, I appreciate the heck out of both of you. And the other thing is, Leafay, it's never too late. If you still want to be an architect, I know you can do whatever you want to do.
That's true.
You bet. So what was the thing, and either one of you can take this. We don't have to have both of you respond on this, but what was it that got you excited or said, hey, I want to be a part of this community? There's all this YouTube stuff out there and these what I call guru weekend boot camps, and where you go in, you pay $200 or $400 or $1,200, and then you go to those. I've been to those before. You go to those, and then at the end of them, they try to sell you a huge package and all this stuff. What got you interested in this community? What was the trigger? What was the hook, or whatever I want to call it? What said, hey, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, that's a good question, because over the 20 years, we've been to like so many different things that you just talked about. Again, that wasn't for us. And so what was missing was the person in front of the room was talking about real estate, but they didn't do real estate. They didn't do real estate investing. It was just a person who can talk really smooth.
A motivator.
And what we needed was a strategy. And we didn't have a strategy because our confidence wasn't there. And when we saw this community and we started interacting with folks and we looked at the educations and we jumped in, we realized our confidence has increased because now we have a strategy. And that strategy would motivate us. And that's kind of like with this property here, there was a strategy that we had and we just moved forward.
Excellent. I can relate to that very much so. And, you know, we're going to get into kind of how you found the property and all that. But I do want to jump in also and remind people or introduce people to the fact that after our property tour today, if you guys want to learn more about our community and more about what Leafay and Keith have talked about and will talk about, we actually have a business introduction right after this. It starts at 5 after the top of the hour. It's at a different Zoom link, so you'll need to get with who invited you. So if you're a guest on today and you want to learn more about what we do and how we do it and how we collaborate and learn together and how we learn how to use other people's money to do our deals, there's just so much information that we can't take out in this hour period of this property tour. But we'd love to have you guys jump on after that. So it is on a different Zoom link. Get back to who invited you out today, and you can jump on there and learn a lot more. So let's talk about this deal. This is a strategy. It's a fix and hold strategy. So you've acquired the property, you're doing some repairs, and you're going to hold on to it. There's a lot of other strategies out there. There's fix and flip, there's buy and hold, there's short term, there's multifamily, there's commercial. What other strategies have you guys done besides fix and hold, or is this your main and only strategy that you do?
Well, in addition to buy and hold and fixing and flips, I also do short-term rentals. Basically, you can call that rental arbitrage, where you take a property that you actually don't own and control it, and you rent it out. You may place it on sites like Airbnb, VRBO, and all of those other type of sites like that. And you make money off of it. So that's another strategy that I do as far as real estate investors.
Yeah, we also participate with other community members in deals. We also help by providing funding on deals. So we try to stay as we'll call it transactional engineer.
I love it. I was hoping, Keith, I knew you would say transactional engineer. And that's what I was looking for, because that's what we do. And, you know, we're problem solvers, and it's just awesome to have the knowledge and the education that we gain that allows us to leverage that and do different strategies. And I knew you guys did, but I wanted people on today to know that you just didn't do fix and hold. You did lots of other things. And that's amazing. I'm sure you probably were like me when I first started off. I never imagined doing 4 and 5 different types of strategies in the real estate investing world, and becoming a part of this community and getting my classes and my education and collaborating with people from all over the country in our community has allowed me to do a lot of other strategies. And so thank you for sharing that, guys. We really appreciate that. So let's, as it is 1/4 after the hour, let's talk a little bit about this deal to kind of get us kicked off. You know, the first thing is everybody always wants to know is, how did you find the deal? Did it just fall into your lap? Did you find it on the multi-listing? Did you find it through relationships? Did you drive down the street one day and see a for sale by owner? How did you guys find this property?
All right, so don't laugh at us. It did fall into our lap.
It did.
I saw Leafay laughing in the background. So I'm like, this is going to be a good story. This is going to be a really good story. Go ahead, tell us, how did it fall into your lap?
So we, in the neighborhood that we have done properties before, where we actually did fix and hold. And because we was in action, and that was the key thing, we was in action. And we do exactly what the class tells us to do, the community talks about, and we got to build relationships. And so just one night,
Out of the blue.
just a regular night. The phone rings, and the person was asking us, "Are we still doing real estate? Do we still buy houses?" And of course, Leafay and I looked at each other like, "Yeah." But come to find out, it wasn't the owner of the house; it was a tenant of a house, and they had a situation where they needed to move out, but they thought the landlord owners was thinking about probably selling, and they just want to kind of help them because they was going to leave a little bit early in their lease. And so she connected us to the owners. Did I get that right?
Yeah, basically, she didn't want to shorten her lease and then have the owner have a property that was empty for 3 or 4 months. So she was literally trying to help them solve their problem by finding somebody who would buy it.
Amazing, amazing. So we kind of laughed and joked about falling into your lap, but for it to fall into your lap, you had to do some groundwork before that. You
Oh,
had to
most
build
definitely.
some relationships.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it wasn't just a fluke deal.
Yeah.
We joke about that, but yeah.
We've done a number of properties around here, and I've gotten to know a lot of people around here just by going and talking to people and letting them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you want to come see, things, introduce them, say to my contractor, if you need some work in your house or something, just trying to be friendly. And so they remember me.
I love it. Building relationships. That's such a key instrument in what we do. And, that reminds me of when I bought a property in a little community in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was on a particular street. And since then, not only have I done 3 houses on the same street, I've done 10 properties within a 3 block area. And I'm just actually starting another one right now. I'm actually sitting in front of it, all in that same area. And it's because of a lot of what you guys talked about. And people know who I am. They know that I'm doing great things in this little community. And, people reach out and they tell people who I am. And so that's awesome. That is awesome, guys. I'm so glad you shared that with me.
You know what, Scott? So here's the funny thing, right? So we got our educations to learn, and we're doing that. But it's property tours like this. I remember you actually saying that. And Leafay and I was like, you know what? Scott said that he's kind of like cultivating a community, and he's, revitalized. And I said, let's try that too. And that's what we're doing. So that's why I like these property tours. So, I mean, this is kind of like the proof that it happens, but the work, you're correct, is something that we had to get down and actually start to do and learn and to grow and just stay plugged in. And I thank you for that.
Well, no, thank you guys. I'm so glad that you're a part of this community, and that I know you guys and your friends, and you're such great stewards of our community and what we're doing across the country. So you found this property, you acquired it. Now, is this a property that you use private lending, hard money lending, seller financing? Did you 401k? Did you use a combination of things? Do you want to? You don't have to get into big details, but it's always interesting because people, the things that you come across, Keith and Leafay. I know this happens to you, just like it does a lot of people that are a part of our community. Every day I'm out and about, I get into conversations with people, and people, they just naturally ask you, "What do you do?" And you tell them what you do, and what is the general or the majority of the time their reaction? Oh, I've always wanted to do that. That's something I've wanted to get into, but I don't know how to find deals, and I don't have any money, and I don't have any credit, so I can't do real estate. I want to do it. So that's something people like to know is not only how did you found it, but how did you guys fund this deal? How did you go about it?
Well, this one we did a private. private investor. Our company has good relationship with a private investor. The interesting thing is you always want to have good relationship with folks, because you don't know when a deal is going to come your way. And when people are not really focused on what their goals and their strategies, and you kind of write those things down, you may miss so many opportunities because you're not, as we call, laser focused. And I'm gonna go to the next slide. So when we talk about being laser focused, and we talked about our why, we actually have to write that down. And I know a lot of people say, I just want to know about how you found the deal. But if there's nothing keeping you motivated, then you're just going to stop. I mean, think about it. We're in the month of February. There's a whole bunch of people said, for the New Year resolutions, they're going to go to the gym and work out, and they already stopped doing that. But for us, we said we want to do this for our kids. So for this property, if you can see our screen, those are our boys. They both came to this property. They're both in college, and they saw what we are doing. And it was a blessing for us first to have our boys with us over the Christmas holidays. This is when we actually close. Again, the rest of everybody else kind of stopped doing things when this opportunity came to us. And then they also went to the closing and talked with our title companies. And so they were part of this transaction.
I cannot believe how old your boys are getting. When I first saw that picture, I was like, is that like brothers or cousins and oh my gosh, in just the last couple of years, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. So you've got your two boys involved, and they're learning about entrepreneurship and about real estate. And that is just, I love hearing. I'm talking about, that puts like goosebumps down my back when I hear people, they've got their families involved and their kids involved. And so, that is awesome, guys. So this is the picture of the front of the property: 2 beds, 1.5 baths, 1,020 square feet.
Well,
go ahead.
As far as the outside, a lot of the things that we did, and we're going to show you on the actual live tour, but if you could see that water downspout is crooked. The windows are old. You probably can't really tell in there, but you'll be able to see it when we go outside. And then the exterior just needed a complete facelift, old mailbox, old lights, and things like that. So,
and there are certain things we did and certain things we didn't, again, to keep it within the community.
Correct. This is the bathroom when you first walk in. As you can see, it's dated. There was a lady who lived here, the tenant. She was handicapped. And so you can see the handicap bar there. She took off the toilet seat and everything just to accommodate her living in there. But you'll see we renovated that.
And that's where you have the washer and dryer hookups.
Yeah. So this is the entryway. Basically, we fixed the door that it was not on track. So we fixed the doors, and then the stairs. Something happened with the tenant where the stairs broke and things like that. That's why you see it like half carpeted and everything. So all of that's been updated.
Yeah, the previous landlord just didn't want to go back and fix it.
And this is the kitchen, which we're actually standing in right now. As you can see, you have dark cabinets. The countertops was ruined. The appliances, they work, but they were very old. So we did update all of that, and the lighting. On the picture on the left side, you can see the duct tape around that square. That's an access panel to the air conditioner. So we fixed that too.
And I'm not sure if there's any questions right now there, Scott. I don't see that just yet.
Nope, none so far. You guys are doing a great job.
All right, so as you can see, this was pretty dated because you had the mirror wall and everything. And I really just don't understand why there's a ceiling fan at the top of the landing. Maybe it was just to circulate the air throughout the top. I don't know, but we found that kind of weird for that small space. This is the full bath. As you can see, everything's dated. The floor is dated. The vanity and cabinet is dated. The toilet we definitely needed to address because it wasn't flushing well. Lighting and everything.
The bathtub and the surround look like they're in great shape.
Actually, that's one thing that we kept. We changed the faucet and everything.
Yeah, that's on the walker.
Yeah, you'll see.
But yeah, we did keep that.
And basically, this is just a bedroom. The carpet definitely needed to be changed, and the blinds and the windows. So I'll talk to you about the windows as we go through on the live. Another bedroom. This bedroom had a lot of holes in the wall. I'm not sure if they had a lot of posters and pictures of things on the wall, but it just had like 150 holes. I don't know if you can see them in the pictures. And this is just multiple pictures of different things that we updated to bring the house just up to being aesthetically pleasing.
And so now it's time for us to kind of go through the live walkthrough.
So love seeing those pictures, and obviously when we get to do the live walkthrough here in a second, it's going to really tell the tale of what you guys done. But so when you go into a project like this, guys, and how did you guys figure out your budget? I mean, that's a big thing that I think a lot of people when they first start out, and you guys have done several of these now, they struggle with figuring out a budget of, you know, what they're going to spend, what they're going to actually replace and keep. Like I made a comment just again from the picture that bathtub and surround looked really good for a rental property. And, you know, first thing I thought of is it's going to be low maintenance. You know, I bet they kept it, and sure enough, you did keep it. But, you know, you put together a rehab or a renovation budget. How are you able to do that? I mean, is that just something you just throw a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper, or how did you figure that out?
Well, one of the things the classes actually teaches us how to do that. It talks about like the market analysis, kind of know the area before you actually start investing in the area. We have the system with the iOS that actually we can, from our own, you know, computer, just go through and just put in different materials, and it'll bring a price. But because we have done a couple of these, we work with our general contractor, and what we wanted to do is pretty much repeat what we have done before, even though cost of materials went up a little bit. So we had to go through and negotiate within ourselves to figure out what would be the best thing for the unit, again, because we're using this for a long term. This is not like a fix and flip, that our tenants will appreciate and want to stay there for a long time. And so that's what we focused on.
So I had a great question come in. How long did you take to do the renovation? When you first started off, Keith and Leafay, what was your budget? What was your timing? You know, how long were you anticipating the repairs would take?
1 month.
1 month?
1 month.
Okay.
And at the same time, it was during the holidays.
Wow.
So we looked at, and we had to move because it was like right after the conversation was like right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving. But then I think we needed to close either right before Christmas or right after. And so, yeah, during those time frames, people are not really thinking about real estate investing. And so for
They
us
on
to,
vacation.
yeah, so for us to get what we was looking for, part of it was negotiation. So kind of knowing the times, what's going on. And the classes kind of teaches that, and not to, rush, but to how do you create a win-win? And that's what we was looking for, is to create a win-win for them and for us. And that's why we was able to do that.
Awesome, awesome. So a month period. Obviously, you didn't have any big majors to tackle. You didn't have to completely rewire the property. You didn't have to completely redo the plumbing, things like that. It was definitely
So
a
we had
lipstick
some
project.
things we had to fix. So there was a couple of things that was kind of hidden. The electric was pretty much good to go. There was a couple of plumbing things. For the refrigerators that we put in, like, so back then they didn't have water lines for your ice makers, right? For the refrigerators back then. So that was something that our plumber put in.
And they fixed the tub.
Yeah, to fix that. And then they had some tubs, things behind the surface. But because we done a couple of these in the same area, we was expecting that. And that's how we came up with our budget.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys want to start walking us through?
Yes, let me stop. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
All right, so do you have the one with our phone?
We've got both pictures up. We still have your slideshow up,
Oh,
and
Okay.
and then we have a camera up.
So we can just go with the camera first. You can do that one. Can you still see us?
No, we can see a picture of the two of you, a really nice picture of you two.
You need
Still
to switch
picture.
to the other. Can you switch to the other one? The one that says phone.
we have two Zooms open.
Do you guys
All right,
want
there
to
we go.
log? Yeah,
There we
we can
go.
see. Yeah, so if you're on your phone, guys, and you got both pictures, just tap the live picture, and that will become the large picture. We can see you, Leafay.
Yeah, but let me.
But
For some reason
you-
it has
you got-
the blur on.
Yeah, you got the background set for blur.
Yeah, I'm about to change that right now. There we go.
Perfect. We can see it. Great.
Okay. So basically, this is the house. What we did here, we changed out all the windows. The windows were very old. I think this was built in 1978. So the windows definitely needed to be changed. And the all around the surround of the windows. We changed the light. Got a new, what do you call it? Doorbell, new mailbox. We straightened out that water downspout and things like that. We didn't really change the shutters or anything like that, because if you look, I don't know, if you look around us, it's not, like stand out. That,
Hey, Leafay, can I pause you for a second?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm getting a message that they cannot see you. I
Oh,
can
they
see
cannot.
you.
Okay. You want me to get the computer? And we
If
walk
you
with
guys
the
will stop
computer?
sharing the slide, we can see them, but right now they're very small.
Yeah, on the cell phone, Yaz, I just tapped that and now I've got a big picture. There we go. Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
All right, sorry about that.
No worries. Go ahead. Thank you, Yaz.
Okay, so I was just talking about the community. If you look around the community, it's not it's not like top of the line as far as the aesthetic. So we didn't do too much outside because it actually wasn't necessary in a sense. So coming into the half bath that we talked about, as you can remember, it was the toilet that didn't have a lid. We changed the lighting, got the vanity, we got the water where your washer and dryer goes. Put up new light, new windows, blinds, and everything. The flooring is all new. Pretty much everything in here is new.
So you remember the bar that was here? The bar is now gone.
Yes.
New lighting.
Yeah,
And
it
so
looks
these
so much.
floors,
It actually made it look larger too, much
Yes.
brighter. Yes, I love the wall. You've got a gray tone to your walls.
Yeah, so we tried to duplicate the same thing that we did in the other units with the color scheme. So we went with the gray and the white and the dark gray. We had to fix this door because it wasn't closing properly. Basically, we had to take this whole the frame off and redo that for the door. So I'm going to close the door. Go ahead and go in. So follow me. So this is the kitchen. So with the kitchen, basically, we changed all the appliances. We got new appliances. Now, I like to go with the eyes that you can remove and change out everything because I found that with the glass tops, those glass tops get ruined a lot. And I know that there's ways you could replace it, but I don't want to spend a lot of money replacing glass tops every, few years. So I decided to go with these. This microwave was not here. Basically, the cabinets came down to about right here. It may have been even a little bit lower. We actually had to cut these cabinets in half to install this microwave here because the kitchen is small. We didn't want people to have to put microwaves on the countertops because obviously the kitchen is small and it's going to take up majority of the space. So we definitely thought that this was something worth adding. All the electricals was pretty good in here, but there are some areas in here that we did have to update the electrical. One of the reasons why we did that is because we wanted to bring it up to Section 8 standards. And just in case we got a Section 8 tenant, we didn't want to rule them out. As far as the countertops, we changed out the countertops and we painted the cabinets. So if you look on the inside of the cabinets, they're still brown, but the outside is white. And that's just an easy thing to do as far as. And then the countertop is a laminate countertop. We did change out the sink to make it a nice, bigger water sink and tossed it with the nice fixtures and everything, and appliances. And we do have a appliance with an ice maker. We did have to draw a water line because we wanted to make sure that we had an ice maker in here. And the light. All right. Oh, and this is the access panel that you saw with the duct tape previously. So I had him make something that all you have to do is unscrew it to get to the air conditioner. This is your living room. As far as the living room, this was actually already. Over here, we have the light because there was so the recess light in there. Did you want to say something?
They're saying
We're
they
having
can't hear us for some reason.
Yeah, we're having a hard time. If you could stay closer to the camera, that would be great.
No.
I can't hear a thing now. You're muted. We cannot hear you. You're completely muted. Well, hang on tight, guys. That we'll get them back on here in just a second. They're logging back in right now, so we'll get them back up here.
Yeah, we're here.
We can hear.
We lost.
We can see you and hear you
connection
now.
on the. Okay, you want to just take the camera? Oh, are you on the? So I'm going to turn this off again.
So right now we can just see a picture of the two of you. There you go. Now we can see you guys.
Okay. Can your camera show? No? Oh, okay. Oh.
Okay. The audio is fantastic.
Okay, so we're on the laptop. So
Okay.
all right, so the audio you can hear. Okay, I was talking about the light. I didn't change the light. But we added the recessed lighting here because there was no lighting over that way. And if you point down to the floors, the floor basically we did throughout the entire place because I personally don't, I don't want to have to change our carpet over and over and over again over the years. So I thought it was worth putting in a waterproof laminate flooring that's going to last me like pretty much 20 years. And scratch resistant. Basically added the blinds, that's just aesthetically pleasing and everything.
A small shed.
And then there's a small shed out there that I repaired. So they can use that as storage. Now I'm seeing myself on there. Am I supposed to be seeing myself? You want to take over the rest of the tour? Okay. So we're going upstairs. Basically, we're doing we painted the stairs a darker gray compared to the walls. And then this is just the landing. We took out the ceiling fan that was up here. I don't know if they can see it or not, but this is one of the bedrooms. I just had a potential tenant leave here, and she was saying that these rooms are really large compared to some of the things that she's seen, which is really nice. As far as the blinds, I got the blinds that go up, and then as far as the windows, you can pull the windows up, and you can actually pull the windows down from the top. So we decided to go with that type of window. And we just painted the closets because the doors were already here. We actually just painted them. I didn't change them out. The ceiling fan,
Can you see it?
yeah.
I can't tell.
The ceiling fan up there, you can there's a remote control over here that you can use to control it. So this is the bathroom. So we did change the bathroom. We got the new cabinet. Let's see, the new cabinet, the new vanity mirror lighting. I don't know. You might have to step back some. I don't know. Yeah, there we go, right there. the toilet, and like we were talking about earlier, I kept the surround here, but I did change out the faucets. So, that was done on the back.
Open doors.
Oh, and all the doors are painted. I don't know if you noticed, but, all the doors are either painted or replaced because they were a dark brown, previously. And then this is just the other bedroom, similar to the other one, but not too much change. So I'll turn it back over to you, Keith.
So one of the questions, Keith, that came in was like that under those stairs, did you do anything with that as far as like a closet or storage?
Can you hear me, Scott?
He was saying underneath the stairs.
Yes, I can hear you.
Like a closet or storage.
So underneath the closet is where the water heater is.
The hot water heaters. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. We're getting so many great compliments on what you guys have done. Sometimes you take those before pictures and then you look at the property afterwards. And this is the difference is night and day. The brightness, everything looks so much larger and more open. And, Chad asked a question, I think a second ago, is this close to one of the properties you did a few months ago?
Yes.
It is. Okay. That's what I thought. Awesome. Let's see if we've got some more questions here. Javanka says it's everything a tenant would want. Yes, they're asking about numbers. We're going to get to those right now. Great job with the project. Beautiful rehab. Everything looks beautiful. Just a lot of great compliments, guys. A lot of great compliments. So you budgeted about a month to do this. And did it take you a month to get this done?
Yes, it could have been less than that, but our general contractor had some things he needed to take care of. He had a family situation. And because we had done business with him multiple times, we knew he was going to get the job done. So we wasn't stressed.
Oh, you done it.
That's great. It looks like Leafay is starting to bring up numbers, or is that you, Keith?
Yep, that's me.
So when you're ready to jump into those, why don't we go ahead? We're about 10 till the top of the hour.
Yep. So I'm gonna walk down so that way we still have the power to the computer. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Not sure what that was, but.
Oh, that's okay. You guys got right on it, and it was only a couple minutes. No problem.
All right, so the numbers that people were asking about. All right, so the purchase price on this one was $67,000. Closings was around $1,200. Renovation was around $25,000 on this one. So we're kind of all in at 93. So one of the strategies, hey, why don't we just go ahead and just sell it? But again, our strategy is different. It's long term. Generational wealth, to be able to pass some things down to our boys. And a lot of people are always like, I don't have time to start learning about real estate investing. And I kind of beg the difference. You do have time. You just don't see down the road that you're going to potentially want to be able to relax and when you, as you get older and not have to worry about going to a 9-to-5, right? So we kind of looked at that and said, you know what? We could sell it. We can make about $50,000 in profit, but we decided not to. So the rent in the area is around $1,350. So paying back our investor, just like our strategies with our other investors. Taxes and insurance is around $147. Then there is a small HOA in the area. And so when we look at it, we're cash flowing around $873 monthly. So
if I'm seeing this correctly, your potential or expected cash flow is $873 a month on a property that you acquired and renovated in about a month using someone else's money. They're making their return on this property and you're making $873 cash flow.
There you go.
Okay, can I sign up for 10 of these?
That's what, opportunities comes up. But you know what's interesting though, Scott? I was doing a quick search and I realized, since 2017 to I guess 2022, my camera is rent has gone up over 5.77%, a year. Now, last year, between 21 and 22, there was a big jump, but that's, COVID and all that kind of stuff kind of jumped in there. But traditionally or historically, it's been going up every single year. And so what we looked at it was, okay, the first year, we're going to, bring in around 10,000, for the year. So a lot of people were like, oh, that's not a lot. But when we looked at over 5 years, that's a big jump over 5 years accumulating. And so we didn't even talk about the equity, over time. Now, of course, what we learned through the community and through the education is how we can pay off houses in a fast period of time, using different types of strategies that we learned through the education. And so with that, we was like, when people say they don't have time, I was like, no, you just don't really understand. You do have time and you're missing opportunities. And that's why, Faye and I are really appreciative of the community education and kind of going forward. And this is kind of how our strategy and our confidence has boosted to move forward.
Yeah, if you don't mind me adding also, Keith, there's all those other factors too, the appreciation, the depreciation.
Yes.
The fact that your tenant's going to be paying off your debt. I mean, there's just so many, and of course, the value of the property. I mean, even if it stays the same, which we know it won't in 5 years.
Exactly.
What a fantastic win-win-win situation. Plus, one of the things that I always try to remember, matter of fact, I've been sitting out in front of this property that I mentioned to you that I'm doing over here in that same community, that same area. And, I got started on this just a couple of weeks ago. And I've introduced myself to the neighbors. And it's kind of funny. I've been sitting out in my truck across the street from the property. And I've had 2 or 3 neighbors who have left for the day or went out for errands. But they when they pulled out of their driveways, they've all waved at me because I've introduced who I am. And so I say that because one of the things that I get a big takeaway, or it really does something for me, is the fact that I'm able to put back to the community. And the neighbors realize that and they see that. And that's how I got a deal one time in this area, is a neighbor knew another neighbor who knew another neighbor the next street over that was in a bad situation and they needed to sell their property. And because of that relationship, I was able to solve those people's problems and do another property. So, guys, we're getting toward the top of the hour. It's about 5 till. I mentioned earlier that if you're on today as a guest, or say you just got started with our community and you want to learn more about what Keith and Leafay have talked about, what I've talked about today, right after this, in about 5 to 10 minutes, that we're going to have a business introduction that you can get onto. It's on a different Zoom link. So get back to who invited you, and they can get you set up and signed up, and you can get that Zoom link. And it'll expand so much more than what we had time for today. But what I always love ending Keith and Leafay with on these property tours is, what would you say, or what advice, or what words of wisdoms or golden nuggets would you like to throw out for folks who are on that maybe haven't got started yet, or haven't got a part of our community yet, or maybe they are but they haven't done their first deal? How would you like to wrap this up today with some words of encouragement?
I would like to say that if you're contemplating on getting started, don't contemplate any longer. Just get started, because it's mainly just taking that first step. You got to take the first step.
Yeah, I agree. Just, take action. Believe in yourself that you can do this. Give yourself permission to win. A lot of people just think, well, they always throw other things into it. Well, what about, I can't do this and I have this, and they just throw too many stuff in it. Just believe that you can. There's houses everywhere. People live in houses. You can be part of that solution to help people. If you really want to help, then this is definitely the right time to go ahead and get started. When people are not thinking about it, you're already in it, then you can get those opportunities where people are not paying attention.
Fantastic, guys. Well, fantastic. Leafay, Keith, you guys have done an amazing job today. I'm just so honored that you guys, took the time out to share, your story, your deal, just a little bit about yourselves to everybody. And you guys are just so gracious. We just so honored, like I said, that you guys made it on. We'll be back on next Saturday. As again, we do these every Saturday. And next Saturday, we'll be coming to you from the great state of Tennessee. So getting more toward the Midwest. And we got an exciting property tour for you then. Guys, I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. And to kind of elaborate a little bit on what Keith and Leafay said, just get started. Have confidence in yourself. Do your due diligence, but get started. And guys, thank you very much. Again, Keith and Leafay, thank you for your service to our country. And we appreciate everybody getting on today. And we'll see you guys next Saturday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern.